me. Reasons that got to be free. Hello everyone, Occam's Razor here. Mostly class of 1971. A few others scattered around in our orbit. And you know, when we were here as underclassmen, many of us started when it was before coeducation. There was the Glee Club and the marching band and 3 all-male a cappella groups. And it was all before the explosion of performing arts. And it's been so wonderful here. One thing for originality was that all of the undergraduates here were blessed with a young fellow from New Jersey standing in for us on trumpet today. We'll introduce him later, but all the rest of us were part of the Triangle Club. Because during those years, yeah, let's hear it, Jeff Peterson is back, a lot of you others who were with us. And that was the foundation of originality and creativity for most of us here. And our band, Occam's Razor, was formed from the rhythm and horn sections from the Triangle Orchestra, and thrived through 4 or 5 different years. We're going to have a chance to introduce them individually, but you know, we do play the Blood, Sweat, and Tears and Chicago type sounds that we started with. See, Alex Randall's in the audience. He's class of '73, yes, yeah, and he enabled us, for example, to create things like the Earth Day, the first Earth Day performances, which we had when we were there. It was all down Cofield. We were there for the entire day of music and frivolity and lots of other things you can imagine during that time. But originality is one of our trademarks. So we bring you today 3 world premieres. The 2 of them from our esteemed pianist and lifelong career musician, Peter Robinson. And we came for music, not to hear me talk. Let's go, Peter.
All right.
2 + 1 is 1.
Yeah, see, back then, I never believed in the square root of -1. That just kind of short-circuited the whole deal as far as I can see. The 2 + 1 is 1. Hold up. That's what we're gonna do, right? 2 bar. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. Discovered a very basic flaw. 2 + 1 is 1. There's no other answer in love or romance, for forever since time has begun. 1 + 1 is 2, but 2 + 1 is 1. You all heard the saying, the more the merrier. But when you marry her, you better say that no more. Don't get confused. 2 plus 1 is 1. Maybe those Mormons know more than me. Maybe wives are really happier when you have at least 2 or 3. But I tend to doubt it. I'm sure my wife does too. No 2 ways about it. If you want your true love to be true, 2 plus 1 is 1. In love or romance, for forever since time has begun. 1 plus 1 is 2, but 2 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2, but 2 plus 1 is 1. We'll fix it in the edits. Thank you. Now see, that's live music. That's live
You'll remember this little blood, sweat, and tears action. Show off those horns.
Great. Well, I'm not this band, the coordinator of all of us. That's a good thing.
Them that God shall get, them that don't shall lose. So the Bible says, and it still is. Your mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child. Got his own. Who's got his own? The rich get richer, they're true. Poor just fade. pocket stove. Oh, never makes a grave. Your mama may have, your papa may have, but God bless the child who's got his own, who's got his own. Honey, you got lots of friends hanging around your door. All the money's gone, all the spending, they won't come around anymore. Rich relations give you crusty bread and salt. I can't help myself. Don't take too much. Mama may have, Papa may have. God bless the child who's got his own, who's got his own. You got lots of friends hanging around the door. You just won't come around no more. Rich relations kind of sound like that. You can help yourself, but don't take too much. Your mama may have, your papa may have. God bless the child who can stand up and say, I've got my own. Social Security Administration on my mind at the time. I kind of made this song hard to sing.
Had a really interesting philosophical discussion at the rehearsal yesterday at our friend Alex Randall's house. He came back to Princeton, lives here now. He's been our supporter for years now. We play rehearsing his carport on Queenston Lane. Don't want to give the number. We'll go down and take out the political signs, I'm sure. But He's terrific. He made us all happy for us today, along with Bill Webster. Thank you, William. We'll take a minute to actually introduce us individually, so you know a little bit. And to do that, I'm going to toss it to Andreas Schneider, class of 70, our trombonist, and he can talk about the horns, past, present, and future. Go, Andy.
I'm an honorary class in 1971 member for 5 minutes. So what you're looking at here is a little different than where we started. And we started before Liam was born. Think about that for a second. Way before Liam. So there were 4 of us. We have 2 originals here still. One, Hal White, class of 72, unfortunately passed a couple of years ago. And the other, Bill Hershey, my class of 70, unable to make it today for health reasons. 2 out of 4 isn't bad, but it's different when you have 2 trumpets, rather than 4 Liam having to carry the whole load. So, we also had a singer. Not that Phil can't sing, but we had a singer who could really move an audience. His name was Larry Tucker. He was not a Princetonian. He was at the University of Delaware. He went on as a professional musician to form his own band, the Larry Tucker Ensemble. Very active in the DMV area. So he unfortunately passed also, and that is why he was not here. We had actually our keyboards are still intact, more or less, barely. And
Porter Shimer, 71.
Yeah.
Robinson, 71.
yes, oh yes, there were less. There was the development for this invitation. Leslie B3 speaker. Right.
Happens when you leave going way too long.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
I thought it was a long product. I left it on 25 instead of recommended 15. This is way darker, and whatever for leaves, it gets out of That's why the hat. It's real.
Stuck in hair color.
We also had a guitarist. His name was Todd Smith. At the time, he was the head of the Mansfield Smith Blues Band. Fantastic guitarist. He's unable to be here today. Yeah, he was in the class of 68. And again, for health reasons, not able to be here today. So it was a very different sound. We had a lot more range creatively. We had a lot of ideas. We had a lot of discussions. We had some displays. And we still have a lot of
And
ideas.
Dave Hingston, you're 73, right? Yes? 72, Dave Hingston, 72. Hal's classmate on alto sax. And leading us all this year, without which whom ever we would be here at all, is a superior organizer, and he's going to take on the rest of Washington, D.C. when he gets back home. Paul Mickey, class of 71 on bass. For those of you in 71, you'll be able to see Paul, Peter, and myself for the cocktail hour between 5 and 6 tonight down at our tenant Scully Hall. We got to be respectful of Bill Webster, the other band's coming up, so we're going to zip through these other 2 original world premieres. First one is Fishwalk, Porter Shimer. It's our last number, and it is terrific. One of my favorites of Pete Robinson's, and the reason is because he paints a whole picture of something that we all hope to accomplish later on. And here we go.
It was actually written for a reunion of Class of 71 way back in about around 2000. I have to check with Jamie to see what year it was. But we came up here with a trio, and it was for the class dinner, and it was a bit early. And the rain got going so hard that I'm not sure anybody but the band heard the song. It was a night that I don't remember. Makes a good book. So here we go. It's a good song.
Oh, okay.
2, 3, 4. Hope that I get to heaven. I know that quarter pounders with cheese, the girls will have hair down to their knees. There'll be a sea breeze. My wife will think I'm wonderful, and our kids will say please. I'll be so glad to be there. I'll try hard not to say there's been some mistake. This all feels like a setup. Is it all fake? Am I awake? Or did I die? I hope so, cause I sure need a break. And when I get there, if I can, I'll catch a moment with Alan Greenspan. He ought to be there by then. He'll probably say it's great to be back again. 'Cause we've all known he's only been down here on loan. And as I learned when I was just a young pup, everything that goes down must later come up. When I get to heaven, I know there's gonna be a whole lot of dogs. I'm not so sure about cats. Maybe a few, but maybe not. Most cats have got their own stuff to do. But what if I don't get in? What if there's been too much sin? What if they tell me to go below, sit in a chair somewhere and spend eternity losing to Bezos and Monopoly? That's for him. What if it's something I did I don't even remember ever having done? What if I hurt someone? If I don't get to heaven, I hope someone will at least tell me why. Am I some sort of terrible guy? What did I lose? Does God make mistakes? Or does he just choose to stand by and watch the dice roll? And sometimes it's 7. I hope that I get to heaven. Early in my career, such as it was, back in the 70s, I had a gig playing in a restaurant in Kansas City with about 200 people, but it had only just opened, and the only person that was in it was Benny Goodman, believe it or not, eating by himself at 6 p.m. And so the strolling violins wanted to stroll to somebody, and Benny Goodman was the only guy there. So they strolled over and circled him, and we hadn't learned how to do anything with them except have them play in unison. So they were playing like, something taken out of the ball game in unison. And around him, he was going to give a concert in 2 hours, 200 people quiet. And so he looked up and he said, "Who's your arranger?" It was that's a true story. And I arranged that song, and I need a better arranger. But it's a good song. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all very much.
All right, from the class of 1971, this is Occam's Razor. There you go, guys. All right, coming up. This is a fun band. We got a call a year ago where they said, "Hey, the facilities guys all have a band. Can we play? We're not alumni, but we work at the university." And I said, "Absolutely." They showed up last year, and it knocked everybody out. So the good news is, too, if you're planning on stealing something or have a problem around campus, now's the time, because all the staff is here. And you're just so stand by. We're going to get the facilitones up here in just a minute.